بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
And this is a good segue into an important theme in your book, which is Christian anti-Semitism, and the way that anti-Semitism was a way of, I don't know, de-Judaizing Jesus, removing the real Jewish origins of Jesus, and really solidifying it as a Gentile movement. But anti-Semitism in the Christian church has been a huge problem, and perhaps only very, very recently it's begun to dissipate, and there have been repentances aplenty from various church leaders anyway about this. But in what way was anti-Semitism used by the church, Paul's church, to reinforce its identity as a distinct movement?
There are a number of different passages that we find in the Christian scriptures that indicate that early Christians who followed Paul really looked upon Judaism as a kind of a threat. And so as a threat, it has to be put down. The most famous one is the blood libel in Matthew, where a Jewish rabble is alleged to have said something like, "His blood be upon us and upon our children." And that one passage in Matthew has caused the death of tens of thousands of Jews over the centuries. But it's not the only passage. There are others in Galatians, for example, that talk about that the time of Torah is over, that it is no longer part of the dispensation and no longer part of the agreement with God. And Galatians is, to me, the most important Christian document. It's the charter document of what became Christianity, because it is saying that you divide history into three periods: a period of faith with Abraham, a period of Torah from Moses to Jesus, and now we're back to a period of faith and faith in Jesus, and so on. So that the time of Jewish law existed only for roughly 1,000 years, from whenever Moses was to the time of Jesus. That deprives Judaism of any legitimacy.
Right.
It is a fundamental attack upon the basic character of the Jewish religion.
Right.
Paul could have said, but he didn't. Paul could have said, it's all right for, Jewish members of Judaism to follow the Torah. We, however, don't. His statement, however, is a bald blanket statement saying nobody should observe Torah, the Jewish law, because if you do, you have fallen away from grace. Because the religion of Judaism is a religion of doing. It's not a religion of believing. The intellectual superstructure of Judaism is quite different from the intellectual superstructure of what became Trinitarian Christianity. It's a religion of how do you act in life? How do you treat other people? How do you observe time? How do you observe food? How do you observe the various seasons of the year? It's a matter of doing. And that, of course, was a tremendous threat to Paul, a religion of doing. Islam, too, is a religion of doing. But Christianity was emphatic that it was a matter of faith, belief, trust, and that alone. So the elements of anti-Semitism that come out is that the attempt was made very early on to see the church as a replacement for the synagogue, the temple. And replacement went along in various different ways. The Christian priesthood replaced the Jewish priesthood. The Christian scriptures in time came to replace the Jewish scriptures, and the Old Testament was relegated to a lower status. And in cases of some early Christians, no status at all. Some did away with the writings of the Hebrew Bible entirely. And so replacement became seen as a way of legitimizing the authenticity of Christianity and the idea that Judaism should no longer exist and I guess as a corollary of that, that there should be no Jews. Martin Luther, by the way, at the Protestant Reformation, recalled that there were still Jews in the world. And he wrote 2 books against the Jews, and they're some of the most nastiest forms of anti-Semitism.